I'm Jeremy Yohe, ALTA's Vice President of Communications, and I'm joined with Cynthia Blair, ALTA's 2018 President-elect. Cynthia also is founding member of the law firm Blair, Cato, Pickering, Casterline. Cynthia, thanks for spending a little time with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, it's important for members to understand that ALTA didn't just say, here are some values. So we do have our values that then members can take to, one, help them create their own values or use them to assimilate into something they may already have. Could you talk a little bit, though, how the group decided upon these three values?
It was a lengthy process. It kind of started out, and I think we took the original, remind me what they were called, the original
Principles?
The principles of fair conduct, right. We took those, and I think we started there thinking that we were just maybe going to tweak those. And after talking to our members, many meetings, many conversations, it became clear that we really needed to rethink what those core values would be. And out of those conversations with our members, it began to rise to the surface what those values would be, what the values of our members are, what they do every day. Discussions among the committee members, much tweaking of language, and I think we're all very proud of what we came up with.
Prior to that, ALTA developed the best practices, and I believe you were part of that process as well. So,
yes.
So thank you for developing a lot of these core fundamentals that that ring true for companies across the country. It's interesting. So thank you. Now the best practices are what companies do. And the values really define a company. Why do you think it's important for a title company, a settlement company, a law firm to really understand who they are?
I think it's important because if you don't define who you are, then how does your staff know who you are? How do your customers know who you are? How do you differentiate yourself? How do you distinguish? So I think it's an important introspective activity, and activity is really not the best word because I think there should always be that introspection when you have a business where you think about yourselves and you think about what defines you, and once you can come up with that and realize that this is really who we are as a company, then you make sure that everybody knows, and so it becomes not mantra, that's not the right word either, but it becomes who you are and who you are defined in your inside your company, externally.
Becomes your essence, really.
Exactly.
What you live and breathe every day.
Right.
So, all right, so we have the values. Where do we go from here? Zappos CEO, Tony Hsieh, he makes culture a top priority at his company. However, he says you shouldn't just try and duplicate or replicate Zappos' values. What recommendations, tips do you have for the companies out there to try and develop their values?
Well, again, I think the introspection that I was talking about earlier makes such a difference because everybody who knows if they've had a dealing with Zappos, you know what those values are. They do really live and breathe them. You have that customer experience when you deal with Zappos, and it's not a question. Everybody I talk to who's ordered shoes from Zappos says you have the same experience. It's the customer service is unmatched. How it's really a fundamental part of them. So I think that's really what you have to do is you have to look inside yourself, and if you're not living and breathing a certain value or a certain set of values, then I think you take the time to say, well, then what do we want to be? What do we strive to be? And define those, and then begin to really implement those into your culture, into your company culture.
We do have these R values. If you do want to learn more about them, you can go to alta.org/values. But to wrap up, any other advice for everyone out there about the R values?
Well, I think it's very important for companies to go through this process themselves. My company's going through it right now, brought about, of course, by being on this committee and working towards it. that's where the importance of defining values became clear to me. So my company's working on it now, and really trying to work through what our values are. And we're involving our staff. We want them to be like Zappos.
Yes.
We want them to have 100% buy-in to whatever that culture is. And I think that's really what you have to have, is you have to have that buy-in from everybody, so that your company is your values.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you, Cynthia, and good luck developing those. We'll be eager to see them.
Thank you.
Thank you.